Okay, we're live. Hey, everybody. This is Bradley Benner with Semantic Mastery and Mastery PR. And today I've got a really, really cool thing that we're going to introduce to you guys that I've been super excited about because I've been experiencing it firsthand for, I don't know, it's probably been 6 or 8 weeks, probably closer to 8 weeks. And just in the last week alone, I've had incredible results. And what we're going to be talking about today is prospecting with LinkedIn, but a 100% done for you service. So I don't know about how many of you guys are doing prospecting. We know the vast majority of our followers are into local marketing. And so I know most everybody is prospecting at some capacity. And this is something that I've been testing now for several weeks, and it's completely done for you. So instead of having a long learning curve of setting up softwares and, you know, all the crap that goes with that and the headaches and the proxies and captchas and all that stuff, this is great because it's 100% done for you. And I'm super, super impressed with the results. In fact, I'm going to be showing you guys some of the results that I've seen even within just the last couple of days. So we've got the lead developer on with us, Andy. Andy, how are you doing, man?
Hey, Bradley. Yeah, thanks for having us here.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. I'm really excited to bring this to our members to at least introduce it. And guys, as mentioned before, this is more like an agency level type service. So you guys are free to attend and hang out and see how awesome this service is. But just understand that this is more of an industrial strength type application. And I know, again, a lot of our members are actually in a position where this could be really beneficial to their business. We also got Chris on the line. Chris, I don't know how long you're going to stay on. Are you planning on hanging out for a bit?
Hi, guys. Yep. I may have to drop out shortly, but I will be back.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, listen, guys, we don't have like any formal presentation or anything that we're going to be going through today because, again, this is more or less we just wanted to introduce you guys to what's available and answer questions and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to turn it over to Andy to let him kind of explain what he's got and the process and all that. And then I'll jump in with comments from time to time. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them on the event page, and we'll try to answer as many questions as we can. Okay. So, Andy, with that, take it away, buddy.
Cool, Bradley. Thanks very much. Cheers for having us here. Yeah, so really a bit of a background just about exactly how it came about and how we started to generate leads on LinkedIn was my business partner, Matt, he was out based in Dubai actually for probably about 12 months. And part of his role was to basically get on the phone and do a lot of cold calling, you know, generating leads that way. But that wasn't his thing. You know, he was doing the same thing as another sort of 200 people were doing as well. But instead of getting on the phone doing the cold calling, he tried to look at a way where, you know, you can still make the same connections or drum up that same interest instead of getting on the phone. So that's how LinkedIn came about. That he started to sort of connect with, you know, CEOs, directors, decision makers of companies that he knew had a big, staff base. For the services he was offering at the time, he could just go to one person to maybe get in touch with, you know, 20, 30 people just off the bat. And based off doing that, he was doing this on by hand. So, you know how sort of time consuming it can be just to connect, message, you know, research, respond. You know, it's a full-time thing to do. So he was spending maybe 12, 14 hours a day just doing his prospecting before he'd actually go out and on the road to sit with, potential clients. So he started to do that with LinkedIn by hand. And with my background with sort of lead generation, sort of online marketing, we were already friends, you know, well before he went to Dubai anyway. So I said, look, you know, I'll come out there for a weekend. We'll get pen to paper and we'll kind of try and come up with a bit more of at the start, really more of an outsourcing system where you can outsource a lot of that heavy lifting instead of, you know, doing it yourself. But as it happened that weekend, it kind of panned out that we could develop tools and software to do certain elements of what he was doing daily. So whether that reduced by sort of 2 hours a day, then that's just 2 hours a day, 10 hours over the week, so on and so forth. So we built little elements of the tools to sort of take that away, to make the job easier and to make it quicker and more efficient. So as we started to do that, we started to look at, packaging this up as into a software, because we were getting asked by a lot of the other guys that were on the phone saying, I can see that you're generating these leads and you're not on the phone as much as us. How are you doing it? So that was kind of a bit of a light bulb moment where we thought, can we package this up into a tool, a system, a software that we can, put out into the market for these other guys to use to go and, do what we were doing. But as it happens with software, what we've learned over the years of doing this is that most people that take software actually don't use it, or they'll use it for a short period of time, and they're not very consistent with it, or the kind of the support with it, everything else. We decided to offer the services. We'd do that for them because we know the sort of nuts and bolts of it. But because there's so many moving parts of that software to get the results needed, we started to package it up, and we're sort of 2 years down the line now that it's packaged up that it's a done-for-you service where, we operate the tools, we know how to get the best of it. And like you say, Bradley, we've been running your account. You've seen, you started to see some results based off that.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys want me to show that? I'll open up right now, actually. Give me one moment. And what's really cool about this, guys, is the fact that, again, it's 100% done for you. Just like Andy said, is what I mentioned in the beginning was the fact that, running the scraper softwares and all that stuff is a pain in the ass. And look, I know LinkedIn is a good source of leads. I've known that for a long time. It's one that I avoided because I never really enjoyed being on the platform much. I thought it was kind of distracting and kind of difficult to navigate and all that, but I knew it was a good source of leads. That's why I jumped on this as a potential opportunity when Andy reached out to me about it. And once I realized it was 100% done for you, I said, absolutely, this is good. And now I'm pulling it up now. I'm going to show you guys the results here. It's absolutely crazy. All right. I just turned my camera on just a moment. Okay. So here's in my inbox, guys, and you can see, like, just today alone, I know it's probably small. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay. So just today alone, I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 conversations going. You can see February 24th, which was, I guess Saturday, there was one. And then at the end of last week, we had several. So these are all basically LinkedIn messages that come in from what Andy's doing, what Andy and his team are doing. And I don't want to explain the process because I know you guys can explain it better. But what I can mention is they handle everything as far as contacting the type of prospects that I want to be contacting through the onboarding process. We determined that. And then they go out and make the connections or the connection requests. Some people, most people will actually accept the connection request. And then once the connection request has been accepted, we send them like basically a pitch message that gives them, ask them to reply, essentially trying to get a conversation started. If they send back a positive reply, then I take over the conversation from that point forward. And what I've been doing is just actually including or adding one of my business partners into the conversation who handles our sales, and he takes over the conversation from there. So it's essentially the only thing I have to do is once I get a positive reply is go in and comment on it and then add my sales guy to the conversation, and he takes it from there. And it's just been really, really cool. I mean, we've got, like I said, what happened was, guys, just so you understand, I was trying a different message for the first several weeks. We had a couple, several good conversations started, but we weren't really closing any of the leads. It was it was kind of a pain in the ass. We weren't getting the best results, not on the LinkedIn side. It was on our side. So I changed my pitch message about 2 weeks ago, which is the message that goes out after the conversation gets started. And now that newer pitch message is performing so much better. We are getting so many more conversations started from the new message. So it's absolutely something you want to test your messages with. Was that helpful?
That's really good.
Okay.
Great to see those results in there, Bradley. Brilliant. Really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if there's anything else you guys want me to show, I can show inside LinkedIn. Like, yeah, actually, let me do that. So let me just show you. We've got one of them here that, for example, this is one. Let me see. Are you guys seeing my screen? I want to make sure you are. Okay, you are. So this is one from just today. And you can see that it starts with, you know, I'd like to add you as to my network, which is just the connection request. And then the guy, whatever, Orlando in this case, he's the one that accepted the connection request. And then there's my pitch message. There's no links in here. And I actually conversed with Matthew, excuse me, about this just last week, because I changed my pitch message and I was saying, you know, I got to ask you guys your opinion about this. Those running the LinkedIn service, what do you think about including a link in that pitch message? And he came back and said, no, I'll answer this one. You shouldn't do that because that's a bit spammy. The most important thing is to get the conversation going, and you can always send a link after that conversation gets started. And I said, okay, yeah, absolutely. I'll follow your advice. That's why I was asking. And so that's what we're doing. And so this guy, again, here's my pitch message. Then this guy here, Orlando, says, okay, interested to see how this works. So then that's when I jump in and say, hey, Orlando, I've added my partner Roberto to this conversation so he can assist you with any questions. Roberto, please provide Orlando with more detail. This guy, Orlando, popped back in and said, okay, thanks. And then this is my partner, Roberto, who handles our sales. And he comes in and starts, you know, chatting with them, also offers a Calendly link. He's also in some of his other messages offered his direct phone line so that they can jump on the phone. So you can see that, like, it's working really, really well. And again, it's 100% hands off until we get a positive reply. And then it's just a matter of taking the conversation forward from there.
Cool. Yeah, and based on that, Bradley, just as you're saying there, with taking the conversation forward, is because obviously you know your business the best. So from that, I've shown my hand. This is, you know, tell me a bit more. You know how to approach that. Then whether, you know, the best way is conducting that is either by a Skype call or a, you know, sit down coffee meeting, whatever it is. You know how to address it. So we've always kind of got it to that point to generate the leads to that point, because you know how then to kind of, you know, proceed with what the best practices with your business. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, guys, like I said, I mean, this is something I'm super impressed with, because what's great about it is they are very targeted leads. You know, occasionally because of the search process, you know, the filters and such with the LinkedIn, we'll get somebody that replies that's really non-relevant, but the vast majority, at 80% or more of them, are relevant connections. And so the offer is really targeted to them. And it's, you know, again, it's just been, it's worked really well for me. I've been really impressed with how many conversations are getting started over there, when it was something I've always struggled with, really generating leads from LinkedIn and without spending a ton of manual time in there. And that's what I love about this, is it's like now the only time I spend in there is to actually start or reply to a conversation that has already been started by your service.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's the thing with LinkedIn, really, is that not a lot of people are using it for that kind of. It's not a saturated, you know, sort of platform where a lot of people are sort of doing what we do with. I mean, there is tools out there. Don't get me wrong. There's tools out there that do sort of fractions of what we offer, but we're using it as a business development kind of tool, a sort of strategy to connect, and it's not spammy, and we've gone through a whole process. LinkedIn earlier this year, anyone that is on LinkedIn, earlier this year, sort of January, February, they started to roll out their new dashboard. I don't know if you remember, from the old dashboard to the new one, but they did it in stages. It wasn't kind of a mass rollout, you know, on this date, we're going to roll out a new platform. It was, they started to do it in different countries at different times. And we had to adapt all our tools, because it's not just software, it's got the, you know, human element to it as well. And the whole tools and the human element we put to it was we had to adapt each sort of profile to fit the certain tool. So we've gone through 12 months of testing and rolling it back, knowing how aggressive to go with it and how, you know, how to roll back on it, just to keep accounts safe at the same time as sort of using that as a business, you know, business development tool. And the same time as well is it's not just it's not spammy. It's not kind of just a generic message where it doesn't sort of pull a name in. So each message that goes to that profile also pulls a name in. You know, so it's not just kind of a high spammy kind of message.
Yeah, and what I found is interesting is that, you know, a lot for those of you that have been using LinkedIn, I'll grab the screen again. Let me show you. You'll notice that a lot of there are these automated reply buttons at the bottom. And so you get a lot of those. Like I've noticed that we get a lot of those. So those are, I don't really consider those positive replies. Those are just auto replies. But the people that take the time to actually send a message, those are the ones that, like, I jump in now, and so what I'm doing is every morning, is as part of my daily routine now, is I'm first thing in the morning is I jump in and reply to all conversations that have been started from the previous 24 hours, and just staying on top of it like that. It only takes a few minutes, probably. Today I happened to end up having like 4 or 5, or like I showed in over here, I had 4 or 5 messages, I guess 5 messages. So I spent a little bit extra time in there, and that kind of what I'm testing with right now is that first contact that I make after I take over the conversation is I'm playing with some different messaging there to see what kind of better results I can get, because the LinkedIn service, what Andy's describing right now, that's doing its job. It's sending the leads to me. So now I've got to improve my processes to be able to convert more of those leads into actual sales. And so I'm split testing my own messaging at the moment. And I'm only on my second message for the contact portion of it, which is what Andy's service is doing. So I'm actually going to be probably split testing a couple of other messages on that side of it too, to see which ones we can get the best results from.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Okay, so let's see. Do we have any questions, guys? Just Lori's the only one on so far. So guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and post them. And then I guess, Andy, you want to talk a little bit about onboarding and how you bring people on and all that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure. I mean, just a little bit I wanted to touch on as well is that as a tool itself, is being a business development tool, and it's not just a tool, it's a system and a service that if you was to do, well, you know, if you was to get a sales guy, you know, with a company car, a laptop, and, you know, sitting in an office and he's there hitting the phones 10 hours a day, trying to, you know, book these appointments. Sometimes, you know, that's kind of the old school way, which is still works, but you've also obviously got to have many kind of different lines, haven't you, to sort of source those leads. We put the service at that level of business development. Is if instead of paying $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, you know, dollars, pounds a month to have someone doing that, we wanted to do it more of a fraction of that to still be able to generate those leads through a different angle. And again, without it being a service where you have to operate, we made the boarding process really sort of simple for the user, where you can just come to us and you fill a simple form out. We just want to know, and some businesses it won't fit for them. We know, we're really sort of transparent with that, and we'd say, look, you're not going to get leads for this. You know, it's a service we don't think you could generate leads on LinkedIn with. It wouldn't be worth us running. You know, and it'd be right to run that. So the boarding process is every new user gets a account manager. So as you've seen, Bradley, you can email your account manager. I think it's a vet. Yep. You know, she responds. Myself or Matt will jump in if needed, if it's something else more sort of technical that you needed to know. So every user gets an account manager. The boarding process is as simple as filling in a form. We then get that form, we evaluate exactly the target market, how we're going to attack that campaign, and then we get back to the user and say, great, we can do this. This is how we're going to start. This is the day we're going to start. We need to do a boarding call. Now, the boarding call is basically just a process where, from LinkedIn's point of view, it's just a security feature, really, that if I was to log into your account from where I am, Bradley, then I would get an email notification to say, you know, someone's logged in from a different IP. So you'd get a 6-digit code. You'd have to give us that code just so I can log in from our end. So your account manager would just need that code. So that's the boarding process, basically, is that she gets the code so we can operate your profile, and we manage your profile. So we're basically becoming that sort of right hand, like your business development on LinkedIn. We become that for you, but you're just allowing us the access to do that. So that's kind of the boarding process. And after the boarding process, we have, you know, we liaise with you each day. You get a Friday email, I think it is Thursday, Friday email, just to kind of, how's it going? Do we need to change anything? You know, you can reach out to us 24/7. And we just make sure day on day we track everything we do. We track the results, the connections, the messaging. And like you said, Bradley, before, is that the other day you to change something. So we just tweaked that message to get the best out of it. And now it's started to show a few more results based on that little tweak of the message. So
quite a bit more, actually. I'm really surprised. But it's only the second message I've tested. So that leads me to want to test more messages,
Absolutely, yeah. Well, it's a shame Matt's not here on this one, because Matt's forte in this, he is, he started this with LinkedIn, handball in this. And that's why we sort of joined together to build it automated as it is, as a system and a service. But Matt did, the hard day-to-day, 14-hour day, working it out, doing it by hand. And his copywriting skills are, a big key into this service as well. Is that you're not just getting a service where, look, we're going to connect with, X amount of people, and you get some spammy messages go out and no results. It's about the copy, about how that message resonates, how it converts, how it, tracking that, is there certain things we do in certain messages that get better results? And that's something else we bring to the table with the service as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I went through the onboarding process, my account manager, I guess, Yvette, she's awesome, because she sends a weekly email asking how I'm liking the campaign, if there's any changes I want to make. So, and, I get so damn busy half the time I forget, to even think about that stuff. So getting that weekly email reminds me, oh yeah, this is going on in the background. Like, let me try to tweak something up here, And then again, I've asked for advice on a couple different situations or circumstances, and I've gotten some good advice. Again, like you just mentioned, Matt, one of your partner, I guess, he jumped in and answered a question for me just last week. So it's been really helpful, guys. And I just got started with this, a couple of months ago. And to be honest with you, I really didn't give it much attention until recently. And that was my fault. But I see it as being something that we're going to be using long-term for our agency. And once we really dial our end of it in, which is kind of the sales side, I can see this just being like almost like an autopilot, source of new clients, because they handle all the contacting. Then I got my sales guy, which he's commission only for this part of it, which is great, because he jumps in and he makes a commission for any sale. But, it's not an added expense for me. It's only if we get it sold, do we make money? You know what I mean? Do I pay money? So to me, it's a great way to generate more leads outside of the traditional prospecting stuff. And I know a lot of our audience would probably agree with me that a lot of the other traditional prospecting methods are a bit competitive now, or even saturated. And whereas I think LinkedIn is a bit harder to navigate, so there's less people competing for prospecting on LinkedIn. And that's what's so good about this service.
Yeah, absolutely. And just based on what you said then about copying your sales guy in, which is another good feature with LinkedIn, that you can actually have this as hands off as you like, is that you can copy someone else into that message. So they show their hand, say, yeah, tell me more. Your sales guy can pick that, or pick that straight up and start the conversation, get them into your pipe drive, your CRM, take them down to your funnel, wherever you want to lead them off, kind of LinkedIn as a social platform. You can get them to where you want to be. We've known guys in the past that have more sort of the sort of old school way on the phone, is they take that lead from there and they put it into pipe drive, which is sort of first column and pipe drive, and start building up. So this system is running, service is running in the background. Like you said, you've got your day-to-day stuff that you're busy with. You don't want to. The whole idea with this is we don't want you to be involved. We want you to just say, look, this is what I want to get. This is my message. And we then get to work on the message, how we think it best resonates. We talk to you about the audience we want to go after. We get those replies in. They show the hand. We want to take them from there, put them in a pipe drive, which is a free thing you can use. It's a free service, pipe drive. And you can start building that. And then you've got a sales guy that's on the phone closing, doing the follow-up process, booking the appointments, the Hangouts, the Skypes, the phone calls, whatever it may be. And then just kind of move them down your pipe drive. And we've noticed some of our, and the thing is with this system, as we spoke last time, was this system was always built for us. It was never a system we were going to market. It was just, it's tools we've built over many years of doing this, and we've kind of got it to a point that it's that sort of hands off, that we only ever did it for services that we offer. But now we see the kind of results we get, then other people could use this. Just you know, come in the front end and just let the system sort of handle the rest for them. So
yeah. So you guys get my endorsement 100%. You know that. So hey guys, if you have any questions, I'd say go ahead and post them. Also, the link to check out the I guess if anybody's interested in purchasing is right on the event page. I'm also going to drop it in the comment section, guys. But it's semanticmastery.com, I believe. Hold on a minute. Or is it Mastery PR? Yeah, it's masterypr.com, excuse me, /linkermonster. But I'm going to go ahead and post that on the events page, guys, and it's already there on the sidebar. Okay, Andy, I don't see any questions coming in. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so we'll give it a minute. But is there anything else you guys want to add to it? I don't want to cut us off short here, but I also don't want to beat a dead horse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that. No, I mean, it's like I say, we're sort of here to answer any questions, whether it be now, whether it be, you know, down the line. It's something that we're sort of growing a system. So, you know, yeah, absolutely, just reach out whenever really.
Yeah, if anybody had any questions, you can ask me too, about my experience with it if you'd like, guys. I'm happy to answer questions about it because, again, I've been experiencing it for a couple of months now and having just really, really good results. So you can reach out to me, reach out on one of the Facebook groups if you'd like. Also, Andy, how could they reach out to you guys directly if they had questions?
Probably the best way is you can email us or find me on Facebook, just Andy Daubs on Facebook. Okay. Or I'll drop you my email as well, Bradley, if you like, and then you can just reach out to us there. Sure. Or just go to Linker Monster.
Okay. Did we lose Andy?
No, I'm good. I'm here. Sorry.
Okay. It just seemed like we got lost for a minute. Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, I'm not seeing any questions coming through. So if you guys are good, I'll go ahead and wrap it up.
Cool. I'll just chip in, Bradley. That I've just posted a link over to you just for any of the guys watching.
Gotcha.
It's a LinkedIn, the ultimate cheat sheet, and basically we found this cheat sheet and it's really, really helpful for optimizing your profile, because one thing is us connecting and messaging and building that rapport. But if your LinkedIn profile is pretty poor, like no picture or just not the right sort of tagline or headline, it's just a free cheat sheet really that you could use to just optimize your profile, which is one of the key things to do before you start really connecting anyway.
I just added that to the event page as well, and then in the replay, guys, I'll make sure that this PDF link or whatever is also attached to that as well. So thank you for that. And yeah, let me make a mention of that real quick because it's really important. Like I had to redo my profile, and it's still not 100%, which is my fault. But I had to redo my profile for this project, guys, because I had my profile on LinkedIn was basically set up about teaching SEO and digital marketing. And so, I decided to test this service with our new contractor marketing agency. And so I had to go back in and redo my profile, especially the section where directly underneath the profile image and everything, which, you want that to be strong. You want to have some good copy in there with good call to action and really explain the benefits of why somebody would want to know you. And so, I completely redid all that, and that took a little bit of time just to think about it and put it together. And I still have to change my header image and stuff, but it's really important. Take some time to go through and optimize your profile for very specifically the type of person that you're, or people, the industry type that you're going to be marketing to, because it would be odd if your LinkedIn profile says one thing but yet you're marketing to a group entirely in another, if that makes sense. You kind of want to optimize it so that you're speaking their language, right? And so I just went back through and redid it. I don't know, a lot of you might not know this, but I used to be a contractor myself. I was an electrical contractor. And so even though I haven't mentioned that a whole lot in my marketing career, now that's very relevant information. So I went in and I added that to my profile and made sure that was real apparent that, hey, I'm a former contractor turned marketer, so I know contractors. And so that kind of stuff, it really, really helps. And make sure that your message is congruent from your profile with what it is that you're pitching. I found that when that connection is made too, it's a higher conversion rate from just the contact to the actual conversation. So interestingly enough, I had noticed, I had forgot that I'd changed my message about 2 weeks ago, I asked Andy and his team to change my pitch message, but I didn't update my profile to mirror that pitch message. And I just caught that today, actually. And so I went in and I re-optimized my profile to match the pitch message. And that way, again, it's congruent, because if you send that message out via the conversation, the LinkedIn messaging app, and then they go check your profile, which is what people do, right? That,
Absolutely.
you know, they get a message from you. What do? They click through to go check out your profile. You want to make sure that that messaging is congruent, because otherwise they could be like, you know, what's going on here? So I just want to encourage that, because that's something even I missed, and I'm still getting good results. So
yeah, it's really important that exactly what you said then, is that when you view somebody's profile on LinkedIn, you can actually see under notifications under your own profile. It says under there, it says who has recently viewed your profile. So if you're connecting with, let's say, building, so you're connecting with, you know, sort of building companies, and you're selling a sort of building product, and in your headline it says, you know, specialize in building products, and you're connecting with sort of CEOs and building construction companies, and they see who viewed their profile, and it says in there, you know, expert in, or, you know, we do this kind of, this is our niche, then you resonate with them straight away. They're going to want to connect with you. So you're going to get up the connection rate, which then more connection rate enables us to send more messages.
Yeah.
You know, so exactly what you say, it's got to be, it's just got to sort of marry up together.
Yeah. And there's something in the LinkedIn algorithm that the more active your profile is being viewed, the more it shows up in search. So it's kind of like a cause and effect, right? So like I've noticed that, because in fact, if I look at the LinkedIn, like, you know, my profile views, you'll see that it's been on a steady incline up. It's been growing like on an upward scale ever since, you know, for weeks now, which is great. And I get the notifications from LinkedIn via email saying, you know, your profile's been viewed X amount of times in the past week and things like that. And it's cool to see that number going up. And so again, it's what I love about it, again, guys, is just 100% done for you. I'm not, you guys know, most people know I hate Facebook. I'm not real fond of LinkedIn either. And so anytime somebody can do it for me and show me some results, I'll take it, you know. So
there's an SEO perspective as well. You'll know more than me here on this one, Bradley, is that the more you start ranking in that algorithm in LinkedIn as well for a certain term, whether that be, you know, lead generation, dentist lead generation specialist, the more algorithm, the more connections, the more you connect within LinkedIn, the more you rank in Google.
Yep, that's absolutely true.
I was just about to mention that. Yeah, you can post content on LinkedIn, of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Videos,
by the way,
images.
that's Chris. You just made a really good point. LinkedIn is also a great place to post articles that will rank. If you optimize your articles properly, you can rank for stuff. I used to do it when I would launch Jack for IM products using my LinkedIn profile by just publishing a post. So this will work really well for that too. And in fact, I've been doing content marketing for our contractor media agency. And I've got one of my bloggers who does it. She does all the blogging, but I've got it connected to my LinkedIn profile. So, you know, once a week, I'm sending out a blog post directly from my profile that's about contractor marketing stuff. And I've started to get more and more interaction from that too, because of the connections that your service, Andy, is providing for me. I'm getting likes and shares on these posts now. That again, it's 100%. I've got it 100% outsourced because I got a VA doing all the blogging. So it's like it's just building that profile, that interaction, and that momentum for my profile. So
yeah, absolutely.
Andy, I don't know if this is a premature question, but you know, we were discussing the CRM integration that you guys were working on. Is that something that people can take advantage of now, or is that still in the works?
Yeah, well, absolutely, Chris. Yeah, I mean, we've actually already got that, and we've not really kind of gone down the route of sort of saying we can do that, because a lot of people wanted to sort of go down the LinkedIn route and responding, but there are some people that are busy that don't really want to log into LinkedIn. So the CRM is there, and we can fire that up, no problem, pretty much within 24 hours. And the process really is, it's a pipe drive system, a CRM system, and we take the leads from LinkedIn, the people that have shown the hand. So on the left-hand side in LinkedIn, when your messages come in, and as maybe you've got sort of 30, 40, 50 that day, you can kind of maybe get a little bit time consuming if you've got to flick through them and respond. We can take the ones that have sort of shown the hand, like Bradley showed before, we can put them into Pipedrive and start the Pipedrive system. So the only thing they have to open is that app or that program each day and see the leads that they have to follow up on. So yes.
Nice. Yeah, nice. So if your team's already used to that system, you haven't got to kind of change your process.
No, it's ready. It's ready to go. We use it in house anyway. We use the same system with HubSpot. But yeah, Pipedrive or HubSpot. If anyone,
I use Pipedrive. So yeah, we love Pipedrive. It's great. It's very much like Trello, and so I just really like that. And guys, I mentioned this earlier. This is what I was talking about. So you can tell when I started this service. right on December 18th, apparently.
It was
all the difference.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, that's what I'm saying. But look how ever since January 1st, it's been a steady incline up. And then just in the last week, like I said, I changed my message, and look at that huge jump. And I feel like it has to, at least as far as I know, it has to do with the message just getting a more positive response. It's carrying more momentum, because you can see like that was a pretty big jump in the last week. So
it'd be interesting to, just as a little test, I'm not really test this, I'm just kind of, I'm thinking off the spot here, just based on what you just said then, is in terms of the SEO factors and the ranking, with your profile now becoming sort of more in the algorithm there, maybe something we'll try in house here is test some posts, some key rich posts, even if it's a local or national, just out of curiosity, really, just to see where they start to sit, because LinkedIn has got a bit of weight in that as well.
Yeah. I'm wondering.
Sorry, Bradley.
I'm wondering what other kind of spammy like SEO things I could do to try to manipulate this even more. Like, I know nothing about the LinkedIn algorithm, but some testing and some serious like spam stuff might be in order here.
Test it. Test it.
All right, cool. Well, let me just check if we have any other questions. If not, guys, we'll go ahead and wrap it up, unless you have something else you want to follow up with, Andy.
I'm cool. No, I appreciate you guys doing this, and yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't see any other questions, guys, so we appreciate you all being here. Again, if you have any questions, you guys reach out to me. I'm happy to answer questions about my experience with it. Reach out to me on Facebook. Hit me up at bbenner@semanticmastery.com if you want to hit me up via email. Or you can connect with Andy direct. I'll make sure that I put his contact information in with the replay, guys. And check it out. If any of you are running agencies or you're looking to grow, some sort of client base for whatever services you're providing, so this is an awesome way to do it. It's pretty much hands off until you get a positive reply. And that's the best thing. The hardest part, guys, is starting the conversation. At least in my experience, it is. Once I get the conversation started, I can typically do well at closing. But it's a matter of getting the conversation started, and this is a very hands-off way to do it. So you got my thumbs up of approval, Andy. That's for sure.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You know what? I was just thinking, Bradley, why don't we get Andy in Facebook groups, and then people can post the questions in there, and we can get a conversation going.
Sure. And which group? All right. Mastermind or all?
Both. Maybe the free SEO group and the mastermind.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool, actually, because if we can tag Matt in it as well, because unfortunately Matt, my business partner, he's been caught with this weather and stuff. But again, back on the LinkedIn copywriting and the sort of the message to resonate. If anyone's got any questions about that, he's in on that as well.
Okay, yeah, I'll make sure I get both of you all added.
Cool.
Good stuff.
All right, guys, thanks for being here, Andy. Appreciate your time, man, and we'll do it again in a few weeks. This was just the first of probably several.
Yeah, we'll probably get some questions come in after this, I should think.
Yeah. Well, tag me in the Facebook, and I'll catch up in there. No worries.
Right on, Andy. Thank you, man.
Yes, guys, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Bradley.
All right, guys.
See you soon.
Thanks,
See you guys.